Hello again, this is Victor James, author of the Megacosm, and I want to talk about this movie that I stumbled upon called Primal Rage on Tubi. Like most people, I'm a fan of the first 28 Days Later. I actually didn't mind 28 Weeks Later just because of that epic opening. If you have not seen 28 Weeks Later, you can just watch that opening on YouTube and that's what you gotta see. That's awesome. But 28 Days Later I know is the consensus best for the franchise. It's been 23 years since it first came out, so I'm hoping I'm not spoiling anything, but we all know the premise of 28 Days Later, which is basically it's animal rights activists break into the wrong laboratory and are attacked by chimps who are infected with a rage virus. The infected students quickly turn into rage zombies and begin infecting all of England. So that's it. That's the premise for 28 Days Later, the movie that became an instant box office success and is a horror classic. So that's why I find Primal Rage so interesting, because it's basically a prequel to 28 Days Later that no one talks about. So I say prequel kind of tongue-in-cheek because there's no official connection between the two movies. So no, I'm not saying Alex Garland, who wrote it, or Danny Boyle, who directed 28 Days Later, copied off Primal Rage. Because being an obscure 80s horror movie, it's very possible they haven't even heard of it. I mean, Susan Collins, who wrote Hunger Games, she swears she's never heard of Battle Royale before writing her novels, which are very similar to the Japanese novels which came out 10 years before hers did. It's kind of hard to believe given the similarities between Battle Royale and Hunger Games, but I've watched a ton of horror movies in the 80s, and I have to admit I never heard of Primal Rage either. So it's possible that those two guys never heard of this movie. Either way, Primal Rage is too similar to 28 Days Later to ignore. They both have the same beats. We have an evil laboratory experimenting on monkeys that seem to make them enraged. The scientist wants to use it to bring back dead cells to life, of course. We have a snoopy reporter who wants to win a Pulitzer Prize named Frank Duffy, who breaks into the lab to find proof of something untoward going on at their school. Frank gets bit by a monkey, just like 28 Days Later. And here's where Primal Rage can be seen as a sequel, since Duffy doesn't turn right away. We watch as he gets sick from the bite, but he's able to live a normal life for another day. It's not until the next night that we see Duffy succumb to the rage. As a prequel, this can be the beginning of the plague virus. As we learned with COVID, the 28 Days Later virus could be the virus subjected to gain of function to make it more lethal. And just like 28 Days Later, we see the virus spread as Duffy's girlfriend is infected and goes on the attack. So Primal Rage at the beginning pretty much lines up well with 28 Days Later as the beginning of the rage virus. What makes it even a little bit more likely a prequel is that the slow spread of the virus allows containment. The rage zombies are able to be killed, ending with the death of the scientist who cultivated it. This will allow for the time frame distance between Primal Rage and 28 Days Later, giving the British scientists time to recreate the virus and perform gain of function. Given all the similarities, it actually would be kind of fun to see Sam and Lauren, the two protagonists of Primal Rage, being middle-aged and having to deal with the current 28 Days Later virus. I just found this interesting since the two movies line up so well. But give me your thoughts. Would you be interested in seeing the two movies connected? 28 Years Later wasn't a box office juggernaut, but it was well received and did have the second highest opening of the franchise. So maybe marrying these two movies will inject a little life into the series. Nothing can help a franchise more than adding to the lore and allowing the fans to sink their teeth into it. But let me know in the comments below. So as usual, you can buy my book, Fiasco Adventures, on Amazon. I have it in paperback. It's also available in Kindle. And I also have the first chapter of Fiasco Adventures on my website, themegacosm.com. So you can read the first chapter, see if it's something that you're interested in, and think about buying. I also have a Substack where I have more chapters of my novel Fiasco Adventures, and I also have my short stories in here. So if you want to read those for free, everything on here is for free. So this is just kind of a preview to see if there's something that you want to buy. But that's all I have to say about this right now. God bless you and keep you. That's it, I'm done.